Okay. It is so great to see everybody back together in person. Did you enjoy the lunch? Did you enjoy the games? Did you enjoy the fun? Yes. Well, it is great to see everybody back in person again. It's been a while. It's been 2 years since we've been able to gather for our end of the year staff celebration. But here we are. We got a great program lined up for you and some great raffle prizes to give out. So, without further ado, it is time to hear from our superintendent, Mr. Tim Merlino.
Superheroes of ESD112, meet your new nemesis. I am willful ignorance, and my goal is to disrupt education for children everywhere in order to recruit them as a mindless army to carry out my nefarious plans.
And you say that we're all superheroes?
Yes, this is the Educational Service District 112, right? I contacted the mayor to see who the education superheroes were in the city. She gave me your name.
Well, when you put it that way, I guess we are the superheroes you should talk to.
Splendid. I have hijacked your TV, etc. station and all your broadcast channels, and there will be no more educational programming.
Okay. That was weird. Then what do you think?
Okay, we should call on our 112 superhero programs to deal with this villain. Adam, fire up that 112 signal.
Call this meeting of the 112 League of Superheroes to order. It appears willful ignorance has set her sights on the 112 region and our programs and is attempting to disrupt the quality services and support we provide. How are we going to address this?
Somehow she has breached our security system and hacked TV, etc. We have our best people on the job. She will not get a foothold.
Good thing we have everything electronic and can get all the approvals done in a timely manner.
Specialized Student Services was born ready for this attack. Yes. Trained in right response, we can dispatch our team of teachers, paras, school psychs, and other specialists to combat any attack willful ignorance has planned against our students. That's great. Sounds like we've got lots of things already in place, but what about our young families? ECE.
Early care and education has that covered. We will make sure all centers and in-home care are meeting current standards and that parents of young children are prepared to avoid any steps taken by willful ignorance to thwart early learning.
Don't forget about student and school success. Our programs for teachers and district admin during COVID have only grown. Our prevention people and curriculum supporting students are both effective and engaging. We now provide a multitude of online training, and our STEM network is stronger than any team of scientists that willful ignorance could pull together.
Sounds sounds like we've got a lot of work to do. HR better get to work creating and recruiting some new superheroes to help with this support. We'll make sure we got all of your benefits and leave requests while you're out doing your duties. Probably should put insurance on standby. We might have some workers' comp claims, probably some safety trainings needing to be done. Whew, got a lot of work to do.
I'm back! As I was saying, I've hijacked your TV etc. station. And while you were all out, stuffing your faces and playing your little games, my evil minions have been out stealing the student and financial records for all the schools in the region. Just try to operate your precious little schools now. Just try!
Well, she's going to have a pretty hard time stealing our records since they're all electronic. But we should probably let the school districts know.
Leave that to communications. We'll get the word out to all of our districts about this new threat facing us.
Great work, superheroes. Superintendent Merlino, I think your ESD League of Superheroes has got this well in hand. You can continue on with this end of year celebration. I think we can get it handled by the end of the hour.
Easy.
All right, I'll hand it back to you.
Hey, thanks. My name's Tim Merlino, and I'm the superintendent of ESD112. I'm wrapping up my 8th year as superintendent, and I've worked at ESD112. I'm in my 37th year. And I used to have Gavin's position. So I'm also happy that we're here together in person. Really, Mike, it's been 3 years since this event we had. First, I want to introduce some very special people that are with us today. Darlene Stickle, could you please stand, Darlene? Darlene is our board chair, and in her 24th year on this board, and she serves the Evergreen School District. And Heidi, you please stand too. Heidi Rosenberg is new to our board. She's in her 3rd month, I think. 24 days. Yeah, it's been pretty quick. But she's replaced Steve Wrightson, and she's serves the Battleground, Hawkins, and Evergreen area. I want to thank you both for being here and for all you do for us. They're big advocates for ESD staff and our programs in the community, statewide, even nationally. We're also currently looking for another board member to replace Marilyn Kenniger, who passed away earlier this year in the Vancouver area, and we hope to have somebody seated by August. I want to bring up our cabinet members and introduce everybody to the group. So if you guys could just come up in front here, and I know you're already in front, maybe you could just come up front. This is the leadership of the ESD, and I want them to introduce what I'm going to do is have them introduce themselves and for them to tell you what working for ESD112 means to them. But first, I kind of want to share my own why. And like I said, I've been here a long time, and I grew up with most of the people who founded ESD112. And those people were very interested in making this place a great place to work and provide services for schools, and they wanted to leave a legacy. So I've worked with a lot of special people, and 8 years ago, I feel I was given kind of this lump of clay, that $45 million lump of clay. And we could have stayed status quo, but when you're serving kids, why wouldn't you want to do the best job you can? So I want to make sure the next generation of ESD leadership, which is out here, builds on what we're currently doing, keep providing innovative and excellent service, and I want you all to know that I know I'm currently working with a very special group of people too.
Thank you, Tim. It's so great to have a passionate leader like Mr. Merlino. Over the last 8 years, he's transformed from a business guy to an educator. Thank you for your leadership, Tim. You know, this is my 37th year in education. The first 31 years I spent as a teacher, a principal, a superintendent, and the last 6 years here at ESD112 in my role as assistant superintendent for teaching and learning. And what I love about working at ESD112 is we are truly mission-driven. When I see that mission of equalizing educational opportunities for all learning communities, that's why we're doing this work. And without the work that we all do, many of those kids would not be getting the opportunities that they currently receive. Many of those families would not get that opportunity. And like Tim said, leaving a legacy, it's important. And the legacy that we leave is not just for the students and families we serve today, it's generational. So all of your work together as a team, we're changing lives. And that brings me to the second reason I love working here, the team. All of you. It's such a great place to work. Everybody works so hard and everybody supports each other. I never thought I'd say this after working for 37 years. I thought I'd say, I'm ready to go do some golfing or whatever. But I love getting up and coming to work every day here at ESD112.
Hi everybody, I'm Jody Wall and I have the pleasure of working alongside all my early care and education peeps in the room. This is my 27th year in education, and in December it will be my 20th year here at the ESD. And I echo a lot of the things that Mike said. I really, to my core, believe in our mission and our vision here at ESD112, and especially the work that we do across early care and education. And I think the reason for that is because I really do believe that all children deserve access to high quality early learning and education experiences across their lifetime. And I'm incredibly proud of the work that everyone in this room and those that are on the Zoom and out in the counties doing this hard work, because we have kids and families and partners and providers who need us each and every day. And the stories and the outcomes and the results are remarkable, and we can't do this work out without every single one of us working together and doing it in partnership. So my why has to do with all of you in this room and on behalf of all the kids and families that we work with. So it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for all that you do.
I'm Marty Allen. I oversee HR and most recently insurance programs, and I've worked for the ESD for 15 years now. And before I came to the ESD, I really didn't ever stay in any one job, in any one location for more than about 3 years. And those of you that have worked here a long time have gone, well, yeah, you haven't stayed in the same job here for more than 3 years either, Marty. So why? Why am I here? I'm here because all of you are here, and you guys do amazing hard work, and you care about it, and you're so committed and passionate, and there are a lot of laws, rules, regulations, processes, things we have to do to try to do things right within whatever bounds there are, but together we do amazing things. We have a passionate leader and leadership team, but none of this works without all of us, and so this is just an awesome place to be, and I feel honored and privileged that I get to come here, learn about new programs, new work that happens, new people that come into this job, and just work really hard to support everybody in achieving individual potential, but just the collective potential, because we do amazing things as a group, and we always do it so much better as a team. So that's why I'm here and why I love it here, and I love having all of you here and being able to be back and see you in person.
Hey, Mark. Monique's coming to us from St. Louis.
Oh, I think I'm up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not there in person. I really wish that I was, and I really appreciate being included. My name is Monique Dugat. I'm the Executive Director of Communication and Public Engagement here at ESD112, and I'm joining you virtually today. It sounds like you've been having a lot of fun. I, like Marnie, have had the opportunity to work with a lot of organizations leading communication. And there's something very, very special about ESD112. I think we all know it. We all have our why. My why is how inclusive and adaptable the agency is and how we truly make an effort to include folks. Even though I'm not there in person today, my colleagues were sending me photos of what's happening in person, and I felt just as much a part of the celebration. So I really appreciate that. And you know, the answer no is typically not one that we hear at the ESD, and I really appreciate that because it allows us to be so adaptable and flexible and change and evolve as an organization. And that's because of our leader, because of our leadership team, and because of all of you. So thank you. I'm honored to be here.
It is great to see everybody in person. It has been a really long time. So I'm Kathy Whitlock. I'm the Executive Director of Student and School Success. So I get to support some really great folks that I truly enjoy working with every day. So when I came here 12 years ago, I was asked to work on a small little project that was brand new to the state, all by myself. And I was also new to the state. Came here from Oregon, left middle school, and what I quickly realized is no one really does anything by themselves here. We have a lot of people that we can lean on, that want to work with us. If we have a challenge, folks help us see the opportunity and help us figure it out. So not only do we do that together here amongst our work, it's also for our districts and the folks that we serve. So regardless of who calls us, we do say yes. We help figure it out with them. And for that, I'm truly grateful. So grateful to work with all of y'all. So thank y'all so much.
Those of you probably hang out around the center of that thing probably hear me either singing by myself or through the window looking like I'm a dog that could be rented out or something like that. But I'm Jeffrey Nice. I'm the Executive Director of Specialized Student Services. So I do most of the work in Southwest Washington and then with about 28 school districts around the state. It feels like the United States. It's we're near Canada, we're out near Idaho, we're on the coast. So there's a lot of districts that we support even in the other ESDs. And so I'm extremely grateful again for the team and the people that we work with. But I just have to say that this is my 32nd year, and I know some of you are doing the math, and I started when I was 11. And so I started as a psychologist, and then I went to the dark side and became an administrator. And then I was very content. Unlike Marnie and maybe Monique that they were talking about, I'd spent 28 years in the Campbell School District, from starting at the very beginning as the only psychologist in the district to moving to eventually being the director, and then getting lured over here. And this is the only seat I ever wanted to sit in. I'm always fortunate enough to have some really good friends who call me from around the state and thought about going to other places, and I loved campus. And the only place I ever wanted to come was to sit in this seat. If any of you were around long enough to know Dennis Matthews, he was a great mentor to me and still is a great mentor. And I came because I wanted to be that guy. So my why was originally to be everything to everybody in this region. If you had a question about special education law practices, I want to be that guy. But after I got here, I realized that ESDs are so different from schools. And after 28 years in the school district, my why changed to when you're sitting in a school district and you think, wow, we really need a program for this, or we need a service for this, or how do we interface with other programs, early childhood? What about our birth to 3 programs? We all sit around and go, God, somebody should do that. When I got here and I said those things out loud because I thought I could, Tim and the rest of the team said, all right, let's put together a plan. Let's go see if we can find grants, and let's move forward and do stuff. And suddenly my why became, we can do things here that we can't do anyplace else in public education. So suddenly we're now able to help kids, and you're going to hear about mental health. And I can tell you, even as a psychologist for years, we didn't get to say things about it. I had a private practice. I could diagnose. When I came to school districts, they didn't want us to do that. And we stayed away from mental health, and we paid for that, right? So what I want you all to know, the other part of the why of this is, and I said this before, you've heard me say it up here again, sometimes you might sit somewhere back there, or maybe now even remotely, or hybrid, or however else you're getting here and doing the work, and you wonder, like, does it matter? You know what I mean? And what you don't get to see sometimes are those great faces that we all get to see of kids, and the people here from my staff that are teachers, and from Kathy's staff and from Jody's staff who get to be in front of kids, right? But none of that would happen without labor of love from you guys and working through it. So I want you to know that you can sound like talking heads up here and just people who maybe are so far up the totem pole or detached. But the honest to God truth is none of that would happen. Not a thing without finance, without insurance, without support staff for every one of us. So every day I want you to know we do your work. The people on the floor, you're getting your work done by the people outside of this building. And every day when you go home, you have to make a difference in lives. You just have to believe that we do. So, thank you.
Hey, thanks you guys. And we're missing Gavin Hoffman, who was on vacation today, but probably the best fiscal officer in the state and somebody who always figures out a way to make things work with compliance and funding and all those kind of things. Really just a great person to work with too. And just like all the rest of these guys, I just thank you guys a lot. Let's give them all another round of applause, please. Okay, now I'd like those of you that were hired during the COVID years to please stand up. Okay, I think, we have about 700 employees who work for 112. And I'm guessing, and we had higher turnover rates in this year than the last 2 years than we've ever had. And so I'm guessing we might have replaced close to 300 people, maybe more. I'm looking at Rachel and she's nodding off. And in the last 2 years. So, we have a lot of people here that they're learning their own programs, but they may not know the ESD very well. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the ESD and hopefully things that can be helpful to you guys as well. But welcome, and I'm glad you're all here. So first I want to start with our mission statement. And our mission statement is ESD112 equalizes educational opportunities in learning communities through innovative partnerships, responsive leadership, and exceptional programs. And the board and our cabinet, probably 24 years. Were you at that meeting at the beach, Dee? Yeah, it was probably in 1998. That's when we developed this. And it's probably been tweaked only a couple times since because it actually works really well for us. And then we also developed 6 program areas, or focus areas that we have talked about. School success. In school success, the focus area of that was support all learners in demonstrating high levels of performance and civic engagement. Collaboration, we were to anticipate and respond to changing needs through collaboration and strategic alliances. Innovative programs, utilize research and data to strengthen, sustain, and deliver quality programs and services. Communication, engage the ESD, schools, and community through effective communication. Build a strong team, which is what we have here today. Provide a work environment that values employees, creates opportunities for growth, contribution, and reward. And then sustainability. And that was maintaining fiscal integrity and management of financial resources to ensure our viability and capacity to serve. And those focus areas have worked for us for the last 25 years as well. And so we haven't really gone in and changed any of that, and maybe we do need to look at it at some point in the future, but like I said, those have served us well. So I know, like I said earlier, you guys, new people here are learning about your programs and the work and the people you serve. My goal over the next year or so is to share the ESD112 story with all of you. I want to provide some history and some insights into our programs and put some context around why we do what we do. Our story really is a great one, and I want new folks to understand and embrace it. Knowing all the things we do here can help us connect the dots better on how we can assist each other in our work. Now, some statistics about ESD112. We're in our 54th year. in 3 years ago, we celebrated, or 4 years ago, we celebrated our 50th anniversary at Skamania Lodge, and we were hosting an ESD conference. We're one of 9 regional agencies, and we were created by OSPI to provide cooperative programs for school districts, create educational opportunities for all students. We've grown from a $45 million budget in 2014 to where our budget next year is over $92 million. So we've doubled in 8 years. And kind of like big companies that do that, you lose something when you grow too. You lose and COVID didn't help that either. I mean, we lost kind of the sharing and being together. What I want you guys to understand too is all our services that we provide here at 112 are opt-in services, meaning that school districts do not have to join any of our programs. And the only reason they join our programs is because we are able to provide something they can't in a quality way. And that's a big deal. And also we have to be relevant because we have to be proving ourselves to the legislature and our clients all the time. And we've done a great job of that. Like I said earlier, we have approximately about 700 employees. We had 700 2 years ago, then we lost probably 50, and we built it back over the last 2 years of COVID to back to where we were before. We operate about 300 programs. We serve 30 school districts, but like Jeff said, we're actually serving probably closer to 50. We have 95,000 students in this region. We lost 5,000 students over the last 2 years due to COVID. Truth is, when we first year of COVID during PPE, we ended up contracting with 420 school districts and private schools in the state. So we actually have all these guys on file, and we know a lot more people than we used to know. And we provide, and this is important, we provide direct service to about 4,000 students every day. That makes us unique in ESD world. None of the other ESDs provide that kind of service. So we can empathize, sympathize, work side by side with school districts more than anybody else in the state can, just because we have students that we call, everybody calls them 112 students. We don't want to do that, but I know that's what it is, right? Give you an idea. So like I said, I've been here 36 years. 112, this is a picture of our revenues in the last, for the last 5 years. And see, we're up there right now. We just became the highest revenue ESD in the state. And Puget Sound ESD, we've been looking up at those guys for years and years and years. But out of their budget here, where they've got about $85 million, more than 50 to 60% of that is early learning, because they're the early Head Start, or the Head Start contractor for King County, which is huge. They get ECAP funds for King County, which is huge. So much of their budget is 2 programs. Our programs, we have like 300 of them. And this is for somebody who has maybe a quarter of the population the Puget Sound area does, and we have more revenues coming in. It's pretty incredible. So we've done some awesome work. And I look at it this way too. I tried to show the dollars per student that we generate. And if you take our 95,000 kids over the $92 million budget, per kid, it's almost $1,000 a student. It's programs that we're generating, program dollars we're generating for schools. And you do the flip side of that for Puget Sound. Like I said, they're 4.5 times bigger than we are. So it's 200. So we're like 4 times bigger when you talk about what we're providing to schools. And really proud of that. It's pretty rare for a place like this to be that far out in front of everyone else. And just in the last few years, we've been bringing everyone else along as well, because we're working through the state to get provide services on provide capacity to all the other ESDs as well for different services. I did want to talk some about the COVID years. So we've had a difficult time. There's no question about it. We all have had that difficult time. I think I mentioned turnover, and I mentioned staffing issues, and I know that people have had to work harder because we've had fewer people and the people have had to fill in for people. But I do think that there's a lot of things on this list. I am not going to dwell on it because I really want to talk about the good things that have come out of COVID for us. So Adam, why don't you go ahead and flip that? You know, at 112, we've helped a lot of people. That PPE program that we did, I'm not going to say that this was the only thing, but we helped bring kids back to school. So when we were delivering all that, for us, it was kind of Operation Bring Them Back. And that's what we did. We delivered for the whole state, the whole state of Washington. And then also we delivered COVID tests over the last year and for four different regions in the state. And that was Operation Keep Them In. So we've had a big piece of bringing education back in the state of Washington. We were able to solidify relationships with all our partners. Every one of the cabinet members, and it probably went much deeper in the organization because I know there's several people that have relationships with job alikes in school districts. We were conveying meetings. I had meetings with superintendents 2-3 times a week talking about these kind of things. And what's come out of that is relationships that weren't there before. Now people in different districts can talk to each other. They look at ESD112 as the one that led them through all this kind of chaos. And it's going to pay off dividends for all of us. And we did provide services to students the whole time. Our childcare folks, we provided childcare to the doctors and nurses and their kids all the way through. So our people were in front of people the whole time. And really, you got to remember at the beginning of this, people really didn't know what COVID was or how bad it could be. And our people were pretty fearless about it. And we also, this past year, were awarded funding for new mental health supports, attendance and re-engagement of students, COVID testing, ed technology, and online learning and nursing support. So we generated a lot more money on program based on our expertise and our reputation and what we've done in the past. We were able to move people, their work sites really quickly. And out of that, we found out, yeah, there's a lot of people that can do their jobs from home. And yeah, we want to see everybody, and that's a great thing. But we wanted to maintain the flexibility. And that's why we sent out those agreements to people. And we want to live by those agreements. And if it works for you, then great. You know, I mean, I think we can manage all this. Like I said, we do want to see people, have them here on our meeting days, and that's great. But if it works for you at home, that's fine too. I think our expertise was on display the whole time at 112. So in the end, after COVID's over, and it's not over, I get that, but where we're at today is better than where we were at 2 years ago. And in the end, we're stronger people. We're resilient. And like the superintendents told me, you guys are all battle tested. We've gained respect from legislators, our clients, partners, but we are really the same people we were before. We've always been can-do people. We don't say no. We're going to remain an organization that encourages ideas. And we've shown we can work in different environments. And we are all people who care about what we do. I want to wrap this up with my portion of this meeting with a little peek into next year and our work going forward. So like I said earlier, our budget next year is about $92.5 million. It's an increase about 5% from last year. We did invest in our staff this year. We're going to provide a 5.5% COLA. It's the biggest investment in staff we've made in our history. We are also going to honor the step increases. We've added longevity step. We also looked at some job reclassifications. So it's a big, healthy bite in our budget. But, like I said, 54 years, we've been doing this a long time, and people were saying, gosh, Tim, how are we going to pay for this? How can we do this? And I said, well, we've been doing it 54 years. We'll figure out how to do it, because this happens almost every year in program to program. We're going to be building our mental health supports for students. We're going to be opening this mental health center next door in the fall sometime. We're going to be adding conference rooms. You saw the building probably going on inside there. We're adding another conference room. We're moving our lab back into this building. We are going to add Zoom rooms. Right now, we just got our bid opening for our new childcare center out at 49th Street Academy in Evergreen. It's going to be touch and go on timing, but we'll get it worked out too. Just to let you guys know, we actually sold these two buildings back here in the corner over here, the old Science Center and Church and Dwight gummy bear vitamin building over there. What we did was we took that funding and we now have almost paid off all the debt we had. So all the buildings that we purchased in the last 7 years, in 5 years, will be out of debt. So it took us 12 years to buy $30 million worth of facilities, which is pretty awesome. The other thing that's really cool is we're going to get this parking lot back, the whole thing. So I think it'll be by January 1st, we'll have the other 30 spaces. I was just talking to Jeff this morning, and what he told me was they're going to restripe, and we're going to try to do the angled in parking that he thought we could probably get in 2 times what we have now. Which, if you ever been here on a day when we have meetings in every room, it's a big deal. Probably today was just as bad for some of you too. So it's a big deal. Want to thank our business people, like Tyler was saying, talking about we're electronic, right? Well, these guys have been going through a conversion of software in the last few weeks, and that's a big deal. We did it, and we were really hoping we could get our payroll out in June. Sorry, I have to be the one to tell you that it is happening. We were a little, I don't know, we were ever concerned about that, but it's a big deal, and I want to thank our payroll folks for doing that. We're going to be going to the legislature and asking them to fully fund special ed, transportation, and those are 2 of our bigger programs, and also figuring out how to, the recent gun reform that was done or passed by the Senate last night. There's money in there for mental health services, and we're going to try to figure out how we get a piece of that. Deb, right? And, based on what's happened in Texas a couple of weeks ago or last month, we're being asked to help districts with safety planning, and we're going to have to work around all those issues. Things have got to be updated. I know that there, in some cases, relationships between schools and law enforcement isn't that good. We're going to have to improve that. We're working in construction services group to diversify our work. Bonds in the state of Washington have not passed in the last 3 years, or very few of them have passed. We're doing a good job of collecting work with, and the construction services group is our construction managers who help schools build buildings. But we've gotten a lot of small grants from schools to help smaller districts. We're also working on indoor air quality because of the COVID issues. And, this is very important too. We're rebuilding our early learning programs. And we went from probably seeing 18, 20, maybe 2,000 kids a day down to seeing 150 kids a day. But that's going to start growing. It's already happening now. We're getting wait lists in some of our centers for the summer. So we're expecting that to pick up rather rapidly. And the last thing is a likely move to the SEB benefit plan. Right now we're in the PEB, but we're being forced by the legislature to go into the SEB, and that's got to be by 2024. I'm hoping we can do it a little sooner, but I'm not sure of that. Is that it? Oh, okay. So in closing, I just want to thank all of you for your grace over the last 2 years. And for the newer folks for joining this great group of people. I want to thank you for doing that as well. I'm proud of what we have accomplished and look forward to working with all of you next year. I hope all of you get some time off this summer and get some rest. Thanks again, everybody.
So, heard about any missing records yet? What? What do you mean you couldn't find any records? Did you look in the filing cabinets? Fine, no matter. The students aren't even in school anyway. I've heard thanks to the pandemic, they're busy roaming the streets wildly. Dr. Whizbang! Oh, you're right there. Prepare your scientists. Biff, go round up those kids.
Wow. Crashing our party, willful ignorance. I think it's time to learn a little bit about our behavioral and mental health programs. Tim, yeah. Tim had mentioned the expansion of our services, and it runs across all three departments in the Division of Teaching and Learning. And we'll continue to expand those services because there's always been a big need, but there's even more of a need. And finally, our funders, our state and federal legislators are realizing that need and giving us some funds to run some very effective programs. And so you're going to hear from Denise DeShawn, you're going to hear from Ashley Stowe, and you're going to hear from Bruce Spildy and Sonia Shine. And we're going to start with Denise.
Hello, everyone. Waiting for Adam to get the PowerPoint up there. There it is. So there was a House bill, it was 1216, and it created what is known as the Regional School Safety Centers. These rolled out through every ESD in the state. So there's 9 of them. And what we have in these safety centers is we have a behavioral health navigator, and ours is Susan Peen Cowan. Here she is right over here. And Susan's job is to help schools with all that is behavioral health, to help them find services, to help them understand how they can access Medicaid dollars. She's helping us with a lot of our tiered supports that we're putting in our special projects. And then we have Adam Scattergood, who is our student threat assessment coordinator. And so that's for our student threat assessment program that you are all familiar with. I would hope that has been in the schools in ESD for about 15, 16 years now. Those also rolled out across the state, and we were lucky enough to help train everyone. And then our newest position is the school safety coordinator, and that is Don Laurie. And his job is those safety plans that you heard Tim talking about earlier. We will be having a working session in the fall to develop safety plans for the school districts. He also helps with all emergency operations planning, HIB trainings, any other type of trainings that come along. And we decided as part of our regional school safety center that we also wanted to include behavioral health. So several years ago, we got our license as a behavioral health agency for the state of Washington, and we were able to go get a bunch of Medicaid contracts for our region. And so we're able to serve students who have Medicaid, and then we also have dollars for those students who have no insurance. Now, we are able to serve all students in the schools that we're in. I'm going to change that. So one of the things I was asked is to speak a little bit about what are we seeing in the schools. So we often see what we call externalized behaviors. These are the kids who are acting out. They're the ones who are flipping desks, who are really letting us know that something's going on and they're not happy. These kids are easy to find, and they're a little easier for us to address in the behavioral health world. So often these kids will also get referred for threat assessments. And during that threat assessment is when we can put a full supervision plan together, which may include mental health services. And then we see the internalized behavior. These kids are a lot harder to find, and they're the ones that the schools often say, Why do you want to see that student? They aren't a problem. It's because they aren't saying anything. They're internalizing everything. And these are the kids that we worry about a lot. These are our kids who have severe anxiety and depression and suicidal ideation a lot of the time. And so finally, I just wanted to briefly talk about where are our services and what are we doing? Because we are growing and we are growing slowly. And so what we have been going through is we have been working with the state on a whole COVID response project. And so through that, we've rolled out for Tier 1 services what we call Trails to Wellness, which is a COVID response group. We have those for most grades that can be done. We do individual services, we do group and family. We have health support teams. We've all been trained to be health support teams. We do prevention, post-prevention, intervention, and reentry planning. And then we're also working with Selena Journey around a project in Lyle around how we're putting in tiered interventions through our mental health supports, what is called those integrated services framework within MTSS, where we will be able to show how we can put in services at every tier within a school to help those schools. And then finally, we do the behavioral health trainings. So you've heard of those suicide prevention trainings that are required. Susan is our suicide prevention trainer. So she does QPR throughout the year for schools. And then finally, these are the sites that we're in. These are our embedded therapists. And then we have some what we call floating services. So out in Klickitat, some of the districts are so small that we can't embed somebody out there, plus staff is kind of difficult to find. And so for the smaller districts, we do floating services. Last person. And we're having to increase that to 2 because we had a wait list within the first 2 weeks of her being on site. So that's how much these services are being requested. We also have a lot of schools who are calling us requesting services, and unfortunately, we aren't able to serve everyone, but we do our best. And when we can't serve, we help them find someone who can. And then finally, next year, as I said, we are growing and we will probably be growing a little bit every year. We will start having more services here at the ESD once our new building opens across the parking lot. And then next year, we will be going into Camas. So we'll be at the high school there. We'll be going out into Wakayakum. We have a new bilingual therapist starting out at Stevenson Cart. And then, as I said, that second floating therapist in Klickitat. All of our services in Klickitat County are being paid for through the crisis system. So we serve all students out there. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Denise. So next up, we will have from infant and early childhood, Bruce and Sonia.
Well, hi, everybody. I was thinking about what I love about this job too, as the other ones were talking, and where my mind went right away was this morning I got to dance and sing with 3-year-olds, and that's the, thank you, Jen. that's the best, for me, that's the best part of this job. I know there's a lot of hard things that we do too, but we get to do some fun things too. Our program, this is just a brief overview of what we do, but our program is an infant and early childhood mental health consultation program. It's provided through Child Care Aware, but it's housed here at ESD112. And Sonia Shine and I are the two that do this work for 6 counties, so our whole region. And we provide that to any child care provider that's enrolled in early achievers, and they need to be licensed. I don't know the numbers, but it's quite a few. Our program is primarily prevention. We're not an intervention. We're not providing treatment services, but we're really working hard on helping these kids, especially learn social emotional skills and hopefully be ready for kindergarten. That's one of our main goals. We do that through building healthy relationships. And that's done not just between kids and kids so that they're learning peer skills, but also between the teachers and the kids too, because in some cases, those relationships are pretty stressed and kids really struggle when that's happening. So we work on that too. We also help teachers learn how to teach kids emotions. That's another part of our jobs. You might not know this, but that's not a skill everybody has. You know, how do you teach that to a child? Somebody needs to help them learn that. So that's part of what we do. And then also we work on co-regulating emotions. So teachers' buttons get pushed sometimes by kids, and kids can push buttons too. And so part of what we do is just help teachers learn how to co-regulate kids, help them calm down, just teach them how to do that because it's not a skill that that people have without some training. We also work on the idea of developing empathy. That's a really important skill for kids to have before they get into kindergarten, is to know how another person feels that is next to them in the classroom or group, that kind of thing. So that's a big part of what we do too. Our support includes observations and consultation meetings with teachers. I think Sonia's going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. Well, I don't know what you do there. Our program's only been around for 2 years, and Sonia joined us in January, and it's wonderful having another person.
Thanks, Bruce. So I've been with the Holding Hope program since December, January, but I've been at the ESD for August will be 7 years. So I love the ESD. So I, Adam, if you could move that forward, thank you. So we were asked to kind of share a little bit about how do we identify the needs of the programs that we support with. And so that information kind of comes from a lot of different places. So we partner really closely with our Child Care Aware team, our early achievers coaches also housed here at the ESD. So a lot of our referrals that Bruce and I receive come from them. So really partnering, it's really important for us that we're partnering with our early achievers coaches. Sometimes, and especially as our program is kind of more widely known around our communities, we're actually receiving referrals and requests from programs themselves directly. And I've even had families reach out to me directly when directors or owners are sharing our information with them. So we feel very fortunate that we're able to just connect with these people, the programs, the families who are identifying their own needs and really being a listening ear for them and just being in tune to what it is that they're sharing with us as far as the strengths that they're seeing in their classroom environments or at home, but also what are their challenges and how can we best partner with everybody to support them through those challenges and those needs. I think, and especially kind of as we're coming into this, I don't know if you could call it post-COVID world, but there's been a lot of strain in these last 2 years of parent and or family partnerships, I would say, as parents haven't even been allowed inside childcare programs. And, how can we build trust and relationships with our teachers or with our parents if we're not even allowed in the door? So a lot of our work is really focused on repairing and rebuilding those family partnerships because we know that families are our children's number one teachers, and we want to include them in those processes to support their child's success in school in childcare.
Slide. We have 4 minutes, but I think we've gone over. So this is the last thing that we'll cover. Some of the supports that we provide, we focus a lot on families and talk a lot to families. We meet with families. We can do that sometimes in their homes with them if that's most comfortable. Sometimes we'll do that at the childcare too, if the family's okay with that. And really just just talking to parents about what they need. We do a lot of that kind of work, and just do a needs assessment, connect them with resources in ESD112 or with school districts. There's a lot of the work that we're doing, a lot of screenings, that kind of thing. And so the other thing we do is we do ongoing outreach and collaboration. And that's, I was just thinking when I was writing this, I have a doctor who's telling a parent that their child's going to outgrow some pretty serious developmental concerns. And that just continues to happen, just happened again this week. And so we're trying to help educate parents and teachers about about the great services that are out there and resources that kids can get, and then help them develop before they get, into kindergarten, because it's so important. We do have joint meetings with child care programs too. I was thinking about this too. There's so many times that parents and childcare providers get into tension with each other. And it happens. It's just when you start talking about what a child needs and some of the struggles that are happening, we do spend a lot of time kind of mediating that between parents and childcare providers. Happens quite a bit, and we're pretty successful at it, helping them figure out how to focus on the child and get back to what's really important. So anyway, you get to do the next point.
Yes, so while a lot of our work is focused on families, our primary area of support is with childcare programs themselves and the teachers who are in these classrooms. And so these are often, private small business programs who don't have access to, our wonderful ESD programs. So as Bruce had mentioned earlier, a lot of our work revolves around consultation and reflective conversations with the childcare teachers themselves or program owners, directors, as well as classroom observations, so that we can engage in what are the teachers' experiences and what are the child's experiences while they're in this classroom environment. And we really try to lean on both teacher and child strengths, and how can we build on that, and how can we best engage everybody in these conversations, because it doesn't always feel good to say, what teachers are doing wrong or what children are doing wrong, but we really want to empower teachers and help them, to grow and maybe think about their children that they're supporting in a different way. So I feel very fortunate to be a part of this work, and Bruce has been a wonderful mentor for me. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we are going to invite up Ashley Stowe, who is with Specialized Student Services, and she's going to talk a little bit about a new program that we started actually a couple of years ago, right about when COVID hit. And so there's been some challenges with that program, but it's growing. It's making a difference, just like the other two programs you heard about today. So Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley Stowe, and I am an outreach coordinator for the Spiro Center. You guys hear me okay? I don't want to shy away from the mic. I want to echo what so many other people have said about just being really thankful to be here with all of you wonderful individuals who are serving the children and families in our region. Thank you for all the work that you do. Let's see. So the Spiro Center, I think something a lot of people don't know is that Spiro is actually a Latin word for hope, right? And we are a therapeutic learning center that provides both mental health support and education in equal proportions. And we are an intermediate step for students to return to their typical educational settings. I like to talk about Spiro as sort of like the stepping stone, where we're typically working with kiddos who might not have been in school for up to a year or more by the time they come to us. So we're really working to re-engage them. Our students, as we saw in the slides before, more of those like internalized kiddos, they're more reclusive and disengaged. So the purpose of our program is to really engage them, help them get their foot back in the door of school, and then help them transition back into their public school setting. So sometimes the work starts in the home. Me and the team of outreach coordinators are mobile. So sometimes we are going into the homes, meeting the student, sometimes through closed doors. Sometimes they won't be able to meet with us face to face. And we're really just working to establish a relationship with them and maybe teach some skills that's going to help them to be able to come back to school. And then once they're at the school setting, we're providing a lot of support and services there. And then ultimately we hope to, or we're here to help them re-engage and transition back into their school. And a lot of times this is actually like the halfway point for students. So where a lot of services, I think, discontinue when a kiddo is, wrapping up with their service with you, we actually stay on with the students and make sure that they're still getting the support that they need. Sometimes it looks like they're doing a half day with us and then they're doing a half day with their other school. We are located here on the ESD112 campus, currently in the 2200 building. And we currently serve up to 20 to 24 students. And we actually opened as a pilot in the spring of 2020. That's about when I started. Perfect timing for starting a new program. Yeah, as you can imagine, there were a lot of challenges and we've come a long ways. So let's see, who do we serve? We serve grades 6 through 12, so middle schoolers and high schoolers. And they all have some sort of a mental health challenge that presents as a primary barrier for them accessing their education. Again, these are internalizing kids. A lot of them have pretty significant anxiety, sometimes depression, or some other kind of mental health barrier that is keeping them out of school. It's really important to us that the student has the ability to maintain safe behaviors around others. We really want to make sure that the Spiro Center as a learning environment feels safe to all the students who maybe typically have not felt like school is a safe place to be. They are qualified for and served through an individualized education plan or an IEP. And they may be coming to us from a variety of settings. So some kiddos might be coming to us from a homeschool situation or online school. They may be receiving home or hospital services, stepping down from inpatient or residential care. These might be kiddos who are attending school, but inconsistently. They might even be kids who are attending school, but they're spending the majority of the day in the counselor's office or in the nurse's office or some other place where they're really just trying to kind of avoid or escape it because it's so uncomfortable for them. We offer educational support. So we have an individualized curriculum that allows students to go at their own pace. They get a lot of one-on-one support from Mr. Clayton, our teacher. We have a really therapeutic environment that it tends to be pretty quiet most of the time. That's one of the things kiddos notice when they come in is I've asked them, does this feel different to you from your other school? And they'll be like, it's very quiet. And I'm like, yeah, it does tend to be pretty relaxed most of the time. We also have a comfort room where students can go and spend time if they need to kind of check out for a minute and just decompress, or if they get really anxious. Sometimes we get some chuckles from the kiddos when we call it, somebody deemed it club comfort because we have like a little disco ball on the wall and some like fun lights in there, beanbag chairs and stuff. So we provide outreach services. So that's me and my team of outreach coordinators. We are mobile. We are kind of the primary contact that helps kiddos that transition into the program. We provide support day-to-day on site. Sometimes we're going out to the houses and we're essentially like the case managers for the kiddos while they're with us. We offer counseling services. So we have a mental health therapist who works with the kiddos during the week individually, and that also provides consultation with the parents too. We have a parent education component and offer support services for the parents, which I think is one of the most unique offerings that we have in a sense, because a lot of times schools don't have the capacity to do as much of this work and have as much time to engage the parents as well. We have a 3-part parent group series that we run, and it repeats quarterly. So if we're onboarding new students midway in the year, then they'll be able to receive that education and support too. We also collaborate with the student support team. So that might be the student's IEP team. We're always collaborating with them. And if they have any sort of mental health, outside mental health providers, we're working closely with them too. And anybody else who's on the kiddos team that we can work with, we try to do that. We offer some advocacy and support to the families and students, helping to connect them to resources as much as possible. And we provide a safe classroom, sort of a Google-style setting where we have like rugs and bean bags and some flexible seating that they can choose if they wish. And really the idea is that we know a lot of our kiddos are coming from, you know, kind of the safety of their home environment in their room where they want to cozy up and sometimes isolate. So this is sort of a stepping stone or a bridge between what they are typically used to, offer some flexibility and some comfort there. That's a midway point between, you know, their bedroom and their typical school setting. We also do some professional development and consultation within the region. So especially when everything was remote, we did a series of webinars for a local school district on stress management and some mental health topics. And we also created a series of YouTube videos on coping skills that you can check out if you want or not on our Spiro Center YouTube channel. Some of the future goals and planning for our program. We are moving into what's a nearly constructed mental health facility. It's been mentioned a few times today. And the cool thing about this will be we'll be able to expand and I think open up to serve more like 30 to 40 students. So that's really exciting. And then we're hoping to we're planning to move from being a strictly special education program or setting to more of an integrated setting with students who some might have some disabilities and then some might not, who also all need the mental health and the school reintegration support and services. And lastly, we're hoping to develop additional Spiro Center programs for the state of Washington. So currently we are the only one doing what we do. We're hoping that that model expands and we can see more Spiro Center programs opening up elsewhere.
Talk about making a difference, leaving a legacy, and providing those supports that's changing lives. Let's give all three of our presenters from our three departments another big round of applause.
Heroes of ESD112, prepare to meet your doom. Any minute now, my thugs will come in with hordes of delinquent children, bring them to my headquarters, and then Dr. Whizbang here will use her team of scientists to begin super soldier training. Ma-ha-ha-ha-ha! What do you mean you couldn't find any delinquents? Did you check the 7-Elevens and the mall? Go check!
Prepare to meet our doom, huh? Well, we have people that work here for a long time, and so I'm going to call up Rachel Lafferty, and she is going to present the Years of Service Award.
Thanks. So 5 years ago, we hired a lot of employees, and we've got about 60 names. Most of them are out in our field, probably watching by Zoom. So we've got a couple slides. Don't feel like you have to wait for me to read your name. If you see your name on the slide, go ahead and come on up. First, we're going to recognize some of our employees who have retired from the ESD during this past year. So they're listed there for you. And we have one of them actually helping us out today, temping so that our receptionists and people could be here. So sometimes you retire and then you come back. All right, we can go to the 5 years of service. Okay, so I'm going to quickly read through some of these names. And like I said, don't wait for your name. If you see it on the board, come on up. Denise has a certificate for you here. Donna Ayers, Jamie Brown, Jody Brown, Chanel Klaus, Janet Cordes, Heather DeGroot, Mandy Eves, Alyssa Gearloff, Kelly Groen, Kristen Lutz, Laura Martin, Alicia Partita, Leah Scholar. You guys can come on over and grab a team picture once you grab your award. Jeff Strunk, Madison Stassens, Ketchum, Sherry Sinave, Erin Villanueva, Don Wells, and Kayla Zarkovich. plus many, many more.
Well, I think they are.
Congratulations, 5 years. All right, Adam, you can switch to our 10 years of service. So we have quite a few 10 years of service as well. I think I saw a few of you here. Carrie Corbett, are you here? You were here. Judy Strong. Kathy Whitlock. Yeah, there's 2 slides for 5 years. Thanks. Yeah, come on up. Carrie, Judy Strong, and Kathy Whitlock. I think they're all here. These are our 10 years of service winners. They get an awesome bell, little golden apple bell. All right. We've got professional photography going on today. All right. What is the 15-year award? All right, we can move to our 15 years. I know a couple of them were here. They get a cool marbled apple. Marnie Allen is one of our 15-year award winners. And Deanna Dork, are you here today? Nope, didn't make it today. Bummer. Also have a few other of our staff out there. Marnie, you're all by yourself. A lot of these, yeah. Hopefully you guys are watching on our camera and we'll celebrate you. All right, we have a couple 20 years of service in the building today. Michelle Aguilar. And Tracy, sure, I see you. Maybe you can sneak in with Marnie too. Hey, Marnie, can Tracy join you? She's all by herself.
Somebody's got to take her back. No, I'll stand behind Marnie. Which one of us? Me? Oh.
Fortunately, you're in the shade a little bit.
Where do you want me to go? Side in front.
Yeah. Hang on. Give you a little bit more light. How about that?
Okay.
She's making a shadow. It's all her fault.
Do you want to move to our 25 years? So this year we had 2 25 years of service winners. We have Kathy Corin and Becky Monahan. And Becky's here today. Kathy, we hope you're watching. Congratulations to Kathy. You are alone. And at this time, I'm going to ask Jeffrey to come up. We have a pretty special years of service this year, our first time ever.
Is it really the first time ever we've had anybody? Wow.
Yeah.
So we have a 40-year person. So this person started in November 30th of 1981. So the agency was 14 years old. So it was just pre-built, kind of a, yeah. What? 12 years old. Good God, yeah, I can't do my math anymore. Wasn't even an adolescent yet. And there was probably Was there this many people probably even working here at that time in 81? Probably not. Maybe just this half of the room. Carol Hall.
This is a draft. We're not. We put this. So you can see the front of it.
I promised Carol I wouldn't embarrass her too much, and so I'm not going to. We're not going to do age jokes and all things because it made you cry. Well, that's their superpower. That's right. So we've had a chance to talk. I have to just tell you, I'm going to go off script for a second because there were 3 people I knew when I started here. So Tim talks about 700 people here. I knew actually my assistant because I'd seen her before in our meetings all the time when I came here as a director. We'd come here once a month to all the region gets together. I knew Mike because Mike and I had worked together when he was my superintendent and I was just trying to not get him in trouble legally with special ed. And then Carol, and I knew Carol quite a bit because again, those same meetings and she represents early childhood. And I have to tell you that, you know, I knew Mike was going to help me get adjusted to everything. And I certainly knew that Connie, you remember Connie, who left shortly after I started. I swear it wasn't me, it was COVID. I knew she would babysit me. And those of you who know me and how ADD I am, she ran after me with skates all the time. But I knew this one would teach me. And I really want to say this with all sincerity. You know, people think about like a matriarch or something like that, because really, to me, she's an oracle. And when I have questions or I want to know where did that come from or where did this start at or what's that policy, why do we have this sort of thing, I get the best information from her. But more importantly, what I got from her is if I had to say one thing about like the thing she comes in all the time with, it's the absolute pride in her staff. I mean, the woman loves her staff. And she brags about her staff and she talks about the things they do. And there's no question the work they do with children, and she's birthed to 3 if you don't know that, they're amazing people and her team is amazing. But I didn't know, in a sense, very many of them. And still to this day, we meet every week, every Friday we have a meeting. And every Friday I still hear about something amazing or care. Like in a sense, if there's a health condition or if something's going on personally with them. And so, you know, the one thing that I can tell you honestly, again, is that if you love the people that you work around, right? So I am going to put you on the spot and I'm going to ask you the same question that Tim asked us to talk about in 40 years. So what's your why?
Oh, well, I'll try to make it short, but you know, 40 years I could go for a long time. So I think that I decided that I wanted to be a teacher, or let's say be in education, when I was 6 years old. And I was one of those kids that, you know, would gather the neighborhood kids and they would have to come to school and I was the teacher. So I pursued that goal all the way through my schooling in a very small town called Raymond that we serve for special education now, and continued with that. So I did do a few things before I came here, but not very long. Never knew when I came here as a teacher for special education, 3 to 5 year olds in a home program, that I would be here with all of this wonderful team and employees 40 years later. But the ESD is unique. And you've already heard that from lots of people. So my why is there's always been good work to do here. There's good people to help us. And just as Jeffrey said, I could not imagine a team better. And if it wasn't such a good team, then I probably would have retired. So my why is that I'm here because I love it. And I really am not ready to say that I'm done working. So Jeffrey knows that. So that's my why. I'm here because we do good work.
Thank you.
Carol Hall. I don't care how strong your powers are. There'll be no match for my army. It will be just a matter of time before we have enough kids, and then the conditioning can begin. Right, Dr. Whizbang?
Well, actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
What? Now? Is this really the time?
Well, my team of scientists, they left.
What do you mean they left?
Yeah, they've been taking ESDU classes and they just got their teaching certificates. They're taking the summer off before starting as STEM teachers around the region in the fall. They say the benefits are better and they like having summers off. I would have gone with them, except I couldn't pass an ESD background check. HR is so thorough.
No! Thwarted again. I need scientists. And I need an army. This isn't over. Just you wait, ESD112. I'll be back. And when I do, I'll do something really bad.
Folks, she won't be back. IT thermal security weakness and cockpit. It's back up and running and we're all safe.
Thank goodness. All right, great work, team. And on that note, it's time for the Spirit of ESD Awards. Melissa Burt. Who, by the way, Melissa wrote this awesome script.
What script? It's all real. So every year, ESD112 honors 2 individuals or groups from the field and main campus, although those lines are kind of blurring more and more now. These people they go above and beyond in their duties and responsibilities with a yes, I can do it attitude. They work with high personal standards and technical knowledge and contribute to the positive morale of ESD112. So these folks have been nominated by staff, and staff have to fill out a nomination application because at ESD Connects, we don't always know everybody. And so it helps us get an idea of who the people are and what they do. We've started calling out the nominees because I think it's really special just to be nominated. We can only choose 2 people, but it's really difficult. And so I just want to briefly go through the nominees. So Michelle Black. Julie Jacobson, Rachel Lafferty, Kendrick Lester, Myra Nadira, the School Nurse Corps, and the Whitson Elementary Special Education Team. Congratulations to everyone. And now I'm going to call up Jeffrey Nice because the Field Staff Award person is from his department.
That's not me. I want to call up one of our. Is it? Yeah. Okay. I want to call up Alicia Singh, who is one of our special ed teachers in that ESA program I talked about, where we have 28 school districts from all over the place. And so anybody here, by raising their hand, know where Bickleton is. Look at this. We got some peeps here. All right. So Alicia nominated somebody from our program, and I'm going to let her talk about that.
Whatever you want to say. Or you can read the whole thing and then say it.
Exceptional creativity. There are times when I have a hard time coming up with ways of phrasing things. And this person always has the words to share with the team, whether it be a teacher, a parent, student, or other, in a kind but professional manner. Exemplary customer service. This person is always timely in their response when time is a factor. They're able to perform a triage of sorts and replies. If it needs an immediate response, they respond immediately. If it's something that's less dire, he focuses on the larger, more immediate tasks at hand. With the immense workload this person has, I feel that this is an extremely important skill, one that they carry out with grace. Superior team efforts. This person has always made a large effort to make sure our needs are not only heard, but supports us in those as well. They make sure that we have the training, supports, supplies, and everything else that we may need. They communicate well with our superintendent to ensure that things run smoothly, but is never invasive in our work. Going above and beyond. This person has gone above and beyond with conveying information to our staff, other teachers, students, and families. When we were short on translators, they would offer translating for us. When we were unsure of a procedure one way or another, especially when the information was delicate or difficult, they were very thorough, supportive, and always followed up with us. While there are much larger districts to take care of rather than our tiny little 12-student Bickleton, we never felt left out, forgotten, or dismissed. We always felt like a priority. Consistently positive attitude. While this has seemed like an ever-challenging year, this person has remained upbeat, realistic, and positive that we would get through everything and anything. Their leadership has enabled us to continue to teach with positivity and hope when we felt it both in short supply. Their actions have trickled down through us as a staff and into the students. Without a doubt, this year has felt more possible due to Kendrick Lester.
We thought for sure we tricked him into coming down, and if you guys know Janelle, she worked really hard, and so we're sort of surprised he's not here, and I hope things are well with him, of course. But and just to tell you how good he is, he actually is. Unfortunately, we're going to lose him. He'll be the new superintendent in the Klickitat School District. So still get to play with him. It's still an ESA district, but we're losing a good one. So anyway. I couldn't be prouder of the fact that he got it. He's been here a couple of years and has really done a heck of a job. And Alicia, same thing. I mean, she makes it sound 12 kids school district, but trust me, she runs that school district. So, and Kendrick has another 3 other school districts that he works with as well. So, all right. And then the other award, again, I'm just fortunate enough that both of them come under me, and I have no idea why. So, except the leaders under me are much better than me. I want to have Carol come up. You just saw her, and so she's going to say a few words. Oh, I have Kennedy too. Sorry.
We got it. All right. Well, so just as we learned about our other award winner, there are some very clear criteria that the committee looks at. So those are for customer service, team efforts, above and beyond, and positive attitude. So we're going to do this in a way, we're going to announce our Spirit of ESD person, ask them to come up here, and then Amber and I have a few more things we want to share. So Michelle Black, it's you. Okay, so Michelle, we're going to do a little bouncing around here. So, customer service. Michelle's tone is consistently gentle, friendly, and inviting. She is the best possible person to be the first step in the early intervention process. She stops at nothing to make sure she's done all she can do to get a referred child into a screening.
Team efforts. Michelle is an outstanding team player. She is great at offering solutions and solving problems to our processes to make them easier on the whole team. She strives to make sure our whole team feels appreciated and loved, whether it's cards, gifts, or just a nice word in passing.
Okay, going above and beyond, for sure. Michelle is impeccably thorough in all of her work. She wears so many hats and she has so much to keep track of, but she does it all effortlessly. She keeps track of every piece of paper and phone call, and rarely misplaces something, unlike me. But okay, when something goes awry, she is the first to find a solution.
And lastly, positive attitude. Michelle talks frequently about how she loves the work she does and how she's so grateful to be able to be the first point of contact for families needing support. She comes in every day ready to pour herself into her work and be the best starting point for children and families entering the ESIC program. And we're so lucky to have her.
So congratulations. We do have something to give them. Okay, so there is your award. Okay. And do you want to come into the picture? Okay, so we'll come over to you.
We actually have one more award to give. This is a super secret surprise award. We only give this award every so often from ESD Connects, and it's for someone whose service with ESD Connects really goes above and beyond, and they just pour their everything into their work and their service and their regular job too. This person in particular, she has been on ESD Connects for many times in her 21 years at the ESD. And she doesn't like to be in the spotlight or wear costumes or sing or dance or anything. But we're going to make her come up and get this award for all of her work, Sarah Moore.
All right. Well, we're about ready to give out some of these valuable door prizes. But before we do, have you guys all had a great time this afternoon? You know, the end of the year celebration, the hootenanny, the giving, the service projects that we do here at ESD couldn't take place without a great team called ESD Connects. And I am so fortunate that I get to be the cabinet liaison that works with this great team. And so when I call your name, Connects, would you stand up, please? Well, Sarah Moore, co-chair. Carrie Wood, co-chair. Abram Krebs, Tyler Hoffman, Melissa Burtz, Molly Daly, Denise Medina Castro, Jessica Bonstedt, Kaylee Crappel, Marissa Ellis, Karen Douglas, Rachel Lafferty, Willful Ignorance, Alyssa Jolly, and Tyler Wright. The ESD Connects team, thank you so much. Thank you. I also want to thank a few other people that helped make today possible. Jeff Strunk, Melissa Lake, and their team for all the setup and organization. Our wonderful IT team. And I also want to thank Adam Knorr for stepping in and doing our tech. Thank you all. All right, so here we go. Okay, a Visa gift card, and this was donated by Verde Services. Visa gift card for $25. And the winner is Amber Brown, who is watching from home. Let's go from the bottom. Yep. Okay, our newest vendor, Corwin Beverage, who you see the great selection of beverages and food that we have set up. They're going to be giving out gift cards that will be added to your account. And so you'll notice that next week we'll get your name, your email, and you'll have $10 in your account. No need to come up. Jessica Kuhnman. Jessica. We have 4 more of those $10 gift cards to give out. Jamie Latona. Jamie, you got $10 gift card from Corwin. So did Aubrey Vandecour. $10 gift card. We also have Britt Becker, $10 gift card. And Carrie Corbett, $10 gift card. Congratulations. Our next gift was donated anonymously. It is an iron flask, value of $25. The winner of the iron flask is Fred G. Fred, there you go. Grab your iron flask. Our next winner, and this person will win, again, given by an anonymous donor, a portable mini fridge valued at $50. Winner, a double winner, our first double winner of the day, Carrie Corbett. All right. Our next prize was donated by Mick Hoffman and the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association. It is a WIAA swag bag, and it is priceless. The winner, Kaylee Craffle. Got the swag bag. Our next prize is donated by Canopy EAP Services, an aluminum water bottle, hot and cold, not just hot, not just cold, hot and cold. It is priceless, and the winner is Summer Livermore. Our next prize has been donated by Kaiser Permanente, another priceless prize. A trunk organizer with a mini cooler. And that's going to Laura Knox. Another prize donated by Kaiser Permanente is a cooler bag. It goes to Kim Betterton. Another vendor of ours, Verde, donated a $25 Amazon gift card, and it's going to go to Kayla P. Okay. We have one more prize donated by Verde. That was it. Okay. Well, ExamWorks has donated several prizes, and the first one we'll give out is a Home Depot gift card for $25. And that goes to Christopher Seltzer. I'm sorry if I don't get the names correctly. All right. The next gift card from ExamWorks is a $25 gift card to Barnes & Noble. And it goes to Carrie Penny. Our next gift card from ExamWorks as a Target gift card for $25 and is going to Tara Moisen. ExamWorks has another $25 gift card they're giving out, this time to Starbucks, and it goes to Tiffany Tone. And the last gift card donated by ExamWorks is a $50 gift card to Nordstrom's, to Nordy, Carrie Wood. Okay, these next two gift cards were donated by Cabinet, and they're each a $45 gift card to Fred Meyer. It'll fill up half a tank of gas for you. So the first winner is Amanda Stovern. The next winner of a $45 Fred Meyer gift card, one of our Spirit of the ESD Award winners, Michelle Black. Okay, these next 5 gift cards are donated by one of our law firms that we work with, Patterson, Buchanan, Forbes, and Leitch. And these 5 gift cards are all for $100 to Target. The first winner, Shauna Johnson. The next winner, Madison Ketchum. Madison. The next winner of a $100 gift card to Target, Katrina Alderman. And the next winner of our $100 gift card, Nathan Abbott. And for our last $100 gift card to Target, Margaret Kyrie. Margaret. Okay, we have one more gift card to give out. And this is donated by the Craig A. Staples Law Office. It is a $100 gift card to Amaro's. Delicious. Ashley Gabbard. Congratulations to our award winners. Thank you to our vendors for donating. And I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent, Tim Merlino.
Mike, thanks for doing this. You did a great job. I'm just checking the clock. I said we'd be out of here before 7 o'clock. And we're going to make it. So I hope you guys all that are not working during the summer have a great summer. And like I said, I hope you guys do get some time off. Let's everybody go home, call it a day for today and have a great summer. Take care, everyone. Thanks.